Carlisle, Pennsylvania. President Donald Trump is scheduled to headline a high-stakes defense technology gathering today at the U.S. Army War College. The summit comes at an incredibly tense moment, as the ongoing conflict with Iran has severely depleted the United States' domestic stockpiles of key precision-guided munitions and advanced air defense systems. The Pennsylvania Defense and Innovation Summit, organized by Republican Senator David McCormick, has brought together the nation's top military brass, intelligence leaders, and private sector tech giants. Behind closed doors, the primary focus is clear: how to rapidly scale up production of America's most critical defense assets before a localized conflict escalates into a wider global war. The stockpile crisis, running low on crucial interceptors. Military analysts and Pentagon officials have quietly raised alarms for months, but the reality of the situation is now front and center. Ongoing military operations in the Middle East, characterized by U.S. retaliatory strikes and defensive operations to protect Gulf allies from Iranian escalation, have drained U.S. weapon reserves at an unsustainable rate. According to defense officials, the U.S. supply of the following systems has reached critical lows: Tomahawk cruise missiles, heavily relied upon for precision strikes against radar installations, drone launch sites, and command centers. Patriot missile interceptors, the primary shield used to protect U.S. bases and regional allies from ballistic missile threats. THAAD, Terminal High-Altitude Air Defense Interceptors, advanced defense systems deployed to counter short, medium, and intermediate-range ballistic missiles. The high burn rate of these multi-million-dollar interceptors has exposed a fundamental weakness in the U.S. defense industrial base: the inability to rapidly manufacture complex, high-tech weaponry during an active, prolonged conflict. A star-studded defense lineup. The summit in Carlisle reflects the extreme urgency of the supply crisis. Joining President Trump is an elite group of administration officials and military command, including Pete Hegseth, Secretary of Defense; General Dan Kane, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff; John Ratcliffe, Director of the CIA; Mike Waltz, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations. They are meeting alongside prominent defense industry executives and venture capitalists. The administration's goal is to bypass traditional defense contractors' slow bureaucratic pipelines by partnering directly with agile private sector tech companies. We can no longer rely on 20th century assembly lines to fight 21st century battles, an anonymous senior defense official stated. We need artificial intelligence, autonomous manufacturing, and private sector speed to replenish our arsenals. Political warfare in Washington. While the president seeks technological solutions in Pennsylvania, a fierce legislative battle is paralyzing Washington. Just days ago, Senate Democrats blocked a massive $1 trillion annual defense spending bill. The block was a direct protest against the administration's handling of the war in Iran, with opposition lawmakers demanding stricter diplomatic guide rails and an exit strategy before approving further military funding. The push for defense tech sovereignty. In his speech today, President Trump is expected to push heavily for his Build America and America First manufacturing policies, urging domestic tech firms to step up and build the hardware needed to secure the nation. The administration is framing this not just as a military necessity, but as a massive economic opportunity for American workers. The White House is expected to announce new, streamlined fast-track programs that allow smaller defense tech startups to bid on military contracts that have historically been monopolized by legacy defense giants. What lies ahead? A fragile balance. As the United States tightens its naval blockades and continues to launch defensive strikes in the Persian Gulf, the strategic equation remains incredibly fragile. The U.S. must balance two deeply conflicting priorities: deterrence abroad, continuing to supply interceptors and missiles to regional allies to prevent a wider geopolitical collapse, and national readiness at home, retaining enough advanced weaponry to defend the U.S. homeland and deter other global adversaries who may seek to exploit the current supply shortages. Whether the Carlisle summit will spark the manufacturing revolution the U.S. military desperately needs remains to be seen. However, one thing is certain: the war in Iran has permanently shattered any illusions about the limitless nature of America's military supply chain.